Real Country 1430 AM and 107.3 FM WRDN. Brian Winnikins from the NAFB Convention in Kansas City. Thank you to our broadcast sponsors, including Wisconsin Soybean Marketing Board, Wisconsin Corn Growers Association, Wisconsin Farmers Union, Synergy Co-op, Osteoplastics, Animal Wellness Center, Buffalo Valley, Anabasilo, Alcivia Co-op, and Compeer Financial. And joining us from Compeer Financial, Bill Moore, Chief Risk Officer. And we're going to talk a little bit about some risk management, especially in this day and age right now with the way commodity prices are. And to Bill, thanks for joining us. Well, I guess it's hard to do risk management when you have this volatility. So how do we balance these two? Because as my dad used to say with commodity markets, geez, all it takes is one guy to sneeze in Walla Walla, Washington. You're on the wrong side and you're out. So how do we navigate this?
Well, good morning, Brian. Thanks for having me. I think this is a market where, because of the volatility, you have to implement that risk management. We've had experiences over the past where if you have a great year, the next year we've found that actually risk management practices actually pull back. Man, I sold corn at 5, and then by 2 months later it was 5.50. I should have waited, when in fact that's actually not the best approach. You know, we don't build widgets here in the business. We have a lot of different factors that can affect both our input prices and our revenue prices. And to be able to manage those and figure out where your margins are going to come from at the end of the year is really important. If you are waiting until the end of the season, you're really just speculating.
Is that the hardest part with risk management? I've talked with brokers and that work with farm families, and they've always said the same thing. The farmer, the producer, is the worst at following plans because they're too emotionally attached, where the farmer's partner, the wife, whatever, who's not emotionally attached, they just follow the plan. Is that emotion one of the biggest things you got to get by?
That fear of missing out, people call it, the kids these days call it FOMO, is the exact driver of if I sell here, what happens if it gets better? We do find that while having a second person run the marketing plan is helpful, really the best plan is just to have one written out on paper that you can then in turn follow. And it has to have the proper rules. We've certainly seen some marketing plans that at the end of the day say, I'll sell every time it goes up. Well, you can't do that either. And so it's just a plan of understanding where you think your output will be, where you think your cost of inputs will be, and then have a schedule of I will sell X, Y, and Z.
Talking with Bill Moore. He's Chief Risk Officer with Compeer Financial. So what is the state of lending right now for agriculture? I mean, with all this volatility, lower prices, this and that, one would think, oh man, lending's going to be tight, credit's going to be tight, but at least some of the reports I've seen, because of some of these good years, the farmers do have some equity and cash on hand that they are able to not do as much lending.
I would agree with that. I would say that the state of production right now is strong, albeit it is notably lower than it's been for the last 3 years. So we've had balance sheets build up quite strongly between 2021 and 22. Now we're into 23, and margins are closer to break even, but you still have a really strong balance sheet in which to launch off that from. So we could actually see some deterioration in the market, and clients would still be in pretty decent shape. Now, interest rates in general have gone up quite a bit. That has seemingly not deterred the value of land. That is seemingly holding its own. But we are seeing a reduction in the number of transactions that are occurring. And then on top of that, we're seeing a reduction on the number of people that are financing transactions. People are showing up to auctions and paying complete cash. So from our business, the business is strong because we like our clients to be strong. The growth is marginal, but solid, and then the values seem to be holding.
Talking with Bill Moore. He is Chief Risk Officer with Compeer Financial here at the NAFB Convention in Kansas City. So, Bill, for producers watching and or listening to this, they need to do some risk management. What do they need to do when they come to Compeer or have somebody from Compeer come out to the farm?
Well, I believe there's really two main components that we bring to the table. We have obviously crop insurance. We have a number of crop insurance specialists who will walk you through the entire process to figure out what types of products you need to have, what types of programs are best for you. And then we also have a level of expertise that is unprecedented. we have 100 and I'll forget the exact number, but it's 106 years of doing business in the regions that we're in. And we have employees that have long tenures, that understand cycles and can consult with the clients about, everything from an asset purchase to a land tillage practice, and use that expertise, because we like to be viewed as a financial partner, and I think our clients do view us as a financial partner. So use us, and you don't have to come into the office. We'll come to you.
When farmers have to do this now, I like myself included, when I purchased some land in winter, and I got the loan for the purchase from Compeer. And before I even did it, I'm like, oh, there's all this paperwork, there's all this other stuff, and I hate all of that. And I haven't done anything like that in quite a few years. But when I chatted with Sean over in Mondovi, just do it here online, boom. And it was really, really easy. So for this risk management plan for the farmers, is it hard to put this together? Are they going to have to have stacks and stacks of paperwork and this and that to develop this plan, or is it pretty easy?
Well, I was with a group of farmers about 2 weeks ago, and a gentleman made a comment that I thought was very interesting. He said, as a farmer and a business owner, I have to be the CEO, the CFO, the CMO, and the COO all in one, and I'm not an expert in any of them. Excuse me. It's not difficult. It really just requires planning. But the key is if you had asked me in 2019, where are we in the digital evolution, I would have said most farmers don't want to participate in it. And 2020 hit. And then it became mandatory because our offices were closed for a period of time, and people didn't want to necessarily connect. The transformation of the willingness to move to a digital application, to a digital signature, has really made that process notably easier. Digital brings a lot of things to our lives, but simplicity is actually the one that's probably driving what you're talking about.
If you like more information, farmers, just visit the Compeer Financial Office in Eau Claire. Give them a call, and they'll even come out to the farm. We are at the NAFB convention in Kansas City. I'm Brian Winnikins for WRDN.